Who decides when you're successful, and what does success mean to you? I stand before you, a single mum of a 16-year-old. Now, when I was a teenager, my idea of success was to be happily married and live happily ever after. And this idea of success came from family values. I was raised to be a housewife, and I did admittedly watch very many Disney films and Bollywood movies. But by the time I was 21, the young age of 21, I was back at my parents' house with a newborn baby and no husband. At this moment in time, I felt like both a success and a failure. I felt like a success because I had left an unhealthy situation, and I felt like a failure because society said that I was a single mum with no future prospects. Now, the issue that we have is that the internal compasses that we have generally become clouded by external expectations and what others define success to be. This notion that we should have a linear life, and what makes things even more complicated in contemporary times are other markers such as social media, other people's highlight reels, and in high-achieving environments, the complexities are there, the markers are there, but are these markers ours? Now, my life journey is a nonlinear one. I became an accountant, but I learned many things that applied first and foremost to my own life. And there were skills such as financial literacy, financial empowerment, most importantly, financial visibility, because especially when I got divorced again, and I was at the curb of financial ruin, I really needed these tools. I also became a published poet, and poetry gave me a lot of healing, a lot of meaning. It made me make sense of my nonlinear life, my identity, who I am, and most importantly, for it to connect with individuals and really emphasize that we do not need to fit into a box. One of the things that I learned in my capacity as becoming an accountant and working within organizations is that the best type of organizations, first and foremost, determine the whole reason as to why they are there in the first place. So they'll determine, are we a for-profit organization? Are we a not-for-profit organization? Why are we here? What are our objectives? What's our purpose? Once they decide what their purpose and objectives are, the best organizations utilize key performance indicators to determine how well they're doing on an internal basis. And they do this periodically, either quarterly or annually. And it's such a great way to determine their own unique success measurements. And so if us as humans utilized this methodology, used human key performance indicators, curated to our own individual markers of what we define success intrinsically. Just imagine what we could do. And these human key performance indicators could be anything that we decide them to be. Things like purpose, kindness, alignment. Do my unique strengths and skills apply to my objectives? And there's so many things that we could do with these human key performance indicators. And imagine doing them periodically on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, on an annual basis. And just imagine what we could do if we got away from the noise, we didn't measure ourselves against comparators that we wouldn't have ordinarily set ourselves in the first place. So I ask you all what I asked my 21-year-old self: who really decides when you're successful? Thank you.